I knew my parents weren't happy, but I didn't really understand what divorce was. But I do remember very vividly moving into a one-bedroom apartment with my mom and my brother, and then seeing my dad on the weekends, and my parents going from talking to not really talking.
The difficulties, the pain, the arguing, all that was affecting my children. And I had to make a hard decision on, is it better for them to be exposed to this growing up, or would it be better to get them away from this type of environment?
I think that their divorce was a positive thing for the family. I think it was a great thing for my mother, and I think it was a fabulous thing for me because I got to see a woman be independent. I got to see her raise my brother and I. I got to see my mom persevere and fight and work 2 jobs. Yes, my father was very present. I mean, I don't talk about him a lot, but he was super present in my life. I was daddy's little girl. I think my dad was very excited to have a little girl, and I became the favorite for a while. And I think that created a sibling rivalry between my brother and I, where he would tease me, he would tease me so badly.
I could see the sibling rivalry, but to me, it was just like, that's your brother. You know, you can deal with it. I dealt with my brother when I was growing up, so I didn't take it that serious.
At school, I became the bully because that's where I can take that power and show I'm not dumb, I'm not stupid like my brother says I am. I became the mean girl, head of the clique, from around 9 to 11 years old. And when I say mean, I'm talking real ugly mean.
We were both kind of like the alpha girls that would just go around being sort of, rambunctious.
Then when I hit 11 years old, I grew 3 inches, I lost 30 pounds, and then I became the victim of every single bully. And it's good, because karma's a bitch. I deserved it because I was so awful before, and I got to feel how I made other girls feel. When I was 13 years old, a girl came up to me first day of school, first day of high school for her too, and she came up to me and said, "Are you a model?" First time anybody had ever said that to me. I thought she was crazy because I was used to people staring at me and thinking I was odd looking.
That's when the idea in her head started to grow that like, oh, maybe I can do this.
I thought I'd walk into an agency when they might not be interested, or they might say, "Well, come back when you're a little older." But when I got to like the 6th one and they were saying no, your face is this, no, your body is this, no, we already have a black girl, it started to really, really hurt.
It was really painful because I saw her face. When someone can tell you, looking straight at you, no, you don't look right. I wanted to yank her out every single time someone rejected her. I just didn't think it was a healthy thing for a child to have to experience.
I think Tyra's mom was instrumental in helping Tyra be practical about the business and just taking it with a grain of salt and like, if they reject you, no big deal. You know, you're a smart girl, you will go to college, you will have these other avenues. This is just one possibility.
I think what allowed her to persevere and to move forward is that it starts at home. You have to build a sense of self-worth. She never felt like she had to be judged by her physical being at home.
I went into an agency, LA Models, and they looked at my portfolio, and then they said, "Okay, well, can you walk?" And so I did a runway walk, and I saw them smile. And then they said, "You're not photogenic, but you can walk. And we're going to put you on our runway division." And that's where I started, on the catwalk.
Hanging out with Tyra on the weekends sometimes entails like, oh, we're going to go to the mall so I can do a runway show for a department store. And I'm like, what? But she was never snotty about it or got a big head about it.
When I was in the 12th grade, I had been modeling for about a year. And I was kind of like a ho-hum kind of model, not real high fashion at all. But one day I booked 17 magazine, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have made it. I have a spread in 17. Right around the time my spread in 17 came out, it was time for prom court, and I was nominated to be prom queen. I
I think that, like, her spread in 17 magazine eventually built up to her thinking, oh, of course I'm going to win prom queen.
Day of prom, they announced, and prom queen is. And I literally took a step forward before they announced the name. And they said, Marizan Ramirez. And I was like, what? And I remember my boyfriend at the time, like, yanking me back a little bit. It was very embarrassing, extremely humbling. That was a turning point in my life.
It was kind of a blessing in disguise because, you know, she did not need that on top of her other fame that she was finding as a model. It was sort of like keeping her in check.
I could have seen me turning into the stereotypical bitch, conceited girl. I realized that, you know, prom queen or being admired by your peers is not about being popular and being in 17 magazine on a little pink scooter. I think that moment showed me that there's so much more to being recognized. Maybe it had a lot to do with me, like, really striving later in life and not just resting on the fact that I was a model. I got accepted to every college that I applied to because I loved school. I knew that I wanted to be in the entertainment industry on the other side of the camera, you know, calling the shots.
I got a telephone call from her modeling agency, and they said that there was a scout there that had gone crazy because she had seen Tyra's photo, and they said it was a Paris scout. And I said, what do you mean Paris? Doesn't that mean she has to go to Paris?
Probably the biggest decision of her life. Should I go to college or should I go to Paris and pursue modeling?
My dad deposited the checks already into that school account, but I said it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm going to give this Paris thing a try.
Oh, you're a designer.